comedian Craig Shoemaker. Let's bring him on in. And here he is. Good morning.
Thanks
How
for
are you,
getting that
man?
right, by the way.
A
lot of people give me a Schumacher.
Shoemaker,
umlaut,
right?
like I'm off the boat from Bavaria or something.
Look at this watch that this guy has on. Look at this thing. I don't know what kind of watch that is, but it looks very...
I can get you one of these.
It looks
Seriously.
How much?
No,
though?
free.
Oh,
looks
Yeah.
very expensive, that thing.
You have to wear it on the air.
Oh.
And that's all you got to do.
I would.
I wear it on my little podcast with 12 people, so I imagine they would give you a special watch.
What kind of watch is that?
It's called a reactor.
It's a sharp-looking watch.
They're going to be very happy that this just happened.
Yeah, I like
I have to
it.
send them this clip, and I'll get more watches.
What, you have a podcast now?
Talk about my shoes next, by the way.
Yeah, New Balance. Yeah, you need another pair of those.
That's
You have
healthyfeetstore.com, and I get you a coupon on that one.
So you have a podcast.
I'm sponsored all over the place.
Every
yes.
comedian has a podcast
I know,
these days.
we do, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because we're all trying to get your job. That's what I'm trying
I
to
don't
do.
know
We
if
all
you
wanna,
want my job.
Oh, sure we do. You think I want to go on the road anymore?
That's right.
I'm supposed to be the protector of my house.
Oh.
I'm serious. Recently, I was in Atlanta. My wife calls me from L.A. She goes, honey, I think there's an intruder outside. I'm 2500 I
Yeah.
said,
What are you going to do?
I said, put them on. Put them on. Listen, pal, if you're not about 9 hours, I'm going to kick your ass.
No, a lot of guys, I guess, do want to get into radio and stay in one place. And so, do you think that the pod is that why guys start the podcast? So that you're hoping, CBS Radio will discover me, or I don't know. I mean, what's
well, the other thing is, you can promote, and you also have guests on, and they're a lot of fun.
Can you make any money
Samuel
doing
L. Jackson
this,
on, and
you
Katie
did.
Seagal. Yeah, we great guests on it.
Can you make any money doing these podcasts?
Zero, but I do have a watch you're talking about.
Well,
shoes.
there are some guys like what's the guy's name? That comedian? We've had him in the studio that has the big podcast. Mark Maron, is that
Mark
his name?
Maron? Yes.
Now
he got his own television show from having
did.
a podcast.
Yeah, he talks about how many people download his podcast or whatever. See, here's the thing. Here's being in radio.
Notice I have not talked about my numbers.
Here's the thing, just being in radio, that when people tell me how many people download their podcast, I'm always skeptical of it. A, it's a number that they're providing to you, and B, just because someone downloads it doesn't mean that they listen to it or that they listen to the whole thing. They could have listened to 5 minutes of your 2-hour podcast. That's not really, I don't know what value there is for advertisers or whatnot. But this guy got a TV show.
Yeah, thanks for
out of it.
taking my whole podcast down. Now I'm trying to get advertisers.
What's the name of your podcast?
It's CraigShoemakerShow.com. Laugh it off. It's all about trying to laugh off your troubles.
Yeah.
Of which I've had many in my life, and that's why I'm doing the show, to help other people manage their lives.
What was your biggest trouble that you've gone?
Well, it
through in
started
your
right
life?
out of the chute. My dad left when I was born.
Right when you were born.
Something I said. Wah. I mean, really. So, I was raised by all females. And
so was I. Does that make you?
Were you really?
Yeah, I had a single mother, and my grandmother was around. My grandfather was the only male figure in my life, but he was on the road a lot. He was a salesman.
Now, don't you think that made you who you are?
A real pussy. Yeah, it totally did. Yeah, because my mother and grandmother, if like a kid was picking on me in school, they would say, turn the other cheek. Now, if I had a male figure in my life, he'd go, next time he says something, punch him right in the face. I guarantee he'll... Right. No, I had to be raised by women, made me a complete and utter pussy.
Well, it makes you stuck in the middle, because I'm like that. I'm like, come on, I have sons now. I'm like, go out there and you hit them, you show them who you are, and then help them up and give them a hug. I mean, it's kind of like the... So it's hard to raise kids in this generation, period, because I did grow up sort of old school.
Did kids pick on you a lot when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah. I was like...
For what?
I was like a wedgie waiting to happen. I was 5'1", 92 pounds in high school. I didn't have puberty. I had no pubic hair in high school, which
You're
is...
pretty tall now.
I know. I'm 6'2", but then I was... the other guys are in the gym showers. That's always the worst place.
Right.
If you want self-esteem. The other guys are like lathering up the Armenian fro down there, and I'm there. I had going a wall switch. I'm turning on and off the lights.
Anthony, our video guy, if you could zoom in. Now, don't move, Craig. I really like this belly shirt that Craig Shoemaker has on right now. If you could, Anthony, if you could just zoom in. If you see there it is.
Wow.
I love. It's like he's he's missing a bottom button there, so it's just
popped off.
Yes, he's showing some midriff there. Very sexy.
I actually was like checking out my fashion this morning. I go, how do you go into a Rover show? And I guess I went the wrong way. I started with a watch, though. We're just going to work our way down my body.
Where did you?
I shop at TJ Maxx. If that's your question to me.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and which is very it's kind of a tough area. And my dad moved. He's moved around. He became a cult leader.
A cult leader?
Yeah, he has his own cult. He runs mule rides in the Pocono Mountains of the Pennsylvania to feed. It's called Pocono Ventures on Mules. He always says to me, if you get over that comedy crap, you can be part of my empire. I'm the king of the Poconos. Really? I'm going to be prince of the Poconos? I can't wait for that.
So you talk to your father even though he left?
Every few years when he needs me to co-sign a loan. He'll hook up with me.
Is it awkward then? I mean, when you have to, because I didn't know my father at all. He actually ended up dying in prison. Yeah, I didn't know him.
No, I knew him all the years because he's a scammer. Like one time I was 7 years old. It's a true story. He told my mother, if you want the child support payment, which he never paid, you have to invite your big-breasted friends over because he was now in a bra business, like a multi-level marketing bra business. I'm not kidding you. I hadn't seen him in years. I'm 7 years old. I look in the living room. There he is smoking a pipe with my Aunt Barbara, Aunt Fran, not real aunts, but all my aunts in bras, and the surrounding him. He goes, come on, Dottie, turn around. Show how it lifts and separates. This is our 3-class model for the full-figured woman. He goes, don't be shy. It's just you women and me. It's like, oh my God, this guy's a genius. Yeah. And then, then he got into cesspools to sewers. He would convert cesspools to sewers. I mean, so I was in that. He would always have me involved in all the businesses because he kind of wanted a father-son bond. And then he got the mule business. I mean, he's done a lot of things. Shark excursions. That was another one. I caught a shark. And next thing you know, he bought landing crafts. You know those things in Normandy with the big doors that open?
Oh, yeah.
Like Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
He finds them in a magazine. He gets a deal. He goes, I'll get them for like $1. You repair the bullet holes. They're as good as new. Your sister can run the bait shop. He's got this whole plan. We're going to have shark excursions on landing crafts. So he's like one of those dreamer guys. He's got like a harem of women. It's literally a harem. I was doing a tour of the Poconos one time, and a guy's showing me the resort, Caesars. You go, over here, you got your racquetball, and over here, I hadn't seen my father in years. He goes, over here, you got your basketball. He goes, oh my gosh, there's A.J. Shoemaker and his harem. What's that nut doing here? And I got to go, that's my dad. And then he comes up, I hadn't seen him. He steals my cheese tray. The complimentary cheese tray. Goes, the girls at the ranch will love this. He takes my cheese tray.
Sounds like you have a crazy father. So you got picked on when you were a kid. You beat up? Did you ever get beat up?
Oh, yeah.
You did.
But I also am a fighter. That made me into a fighter. And then when I became bigger, but I never really went through with it. I had a whole list of people that I was going to kick their ass once I got big. Because there was a promise that I was going to be big because of my big feet. And so I said, I'm going to get them someday. But it never really happened. It still remains somewhat of a dream. I have some of it a list.
So what got you into comedy then, do you think?
Have I not listed enough?
All right, crazy dad. Right,
I got the cult leader, my grandmother growing pot in our backyard.
Really?
Yeah, that's the first person I smoked with, my grandmother.
Really? How old were you?
Probably 14, something like that. And she's like, but they had a thing called the shotgun. They would take the joint and like lip it and come at you. My grandmother's giving me shotguns. Come on over here.
So she would inhale and then blow it into you?
Well, no, she puts the joint in her mouth. The lit side in the
backwards,
mouth. Backwards, and then goes, come on, let me give you a shotgun. This is how we bonded.
Wow. Sounds creepy.
She's lipping this thing. She's got these big lips. She could whisper in her own ear, my grandmother. She's like, come on. And she's like growing the pot in the backyard. I said, what about the cops? She goes, I tell them I got glaucoma. It's medicinal. So, yeah, she would. That was how that started.
So then you, at some point, you must move to L.A. like every comedian does. Did you move to L.A. or to New York? Where'd you go?
I did New York first, and that was awful. Yeah, it was not a good idea. I remember one time I was interviewing for an apartment. And the guy's asking me if I'm clean, and he's giving me all these questions because he was going to be my roommate. Because it's a really bad apartment situation, especially in the 80s. And And I was going, I felt like saying to the guy, you're talking to me about these things. Do you pee in the corner? Because I'm smelling some wicked urine over here. And I was like, you're asking me if I put my socks on? I said, I think you pee in the corner. It stunk, this corner that I was in doing the interview. But it was just, those were some bad times. But I did move to Los Angeles.
You end up in L.A. I know that you... At one point, he co-hosted briefly the Magic Johnson show, which was on the air for, I think, 2 episodes.
Now, does my bio have that even on it?
You can't. You've tried to scrub it.
I tried to have that erased by the Kennedy assassination cover-up people. It hasn't worked, apparently. I'm going to have to... Yeah, I was the co-host of Magic Johnson's show, and it was wild because I actually wanted the job, and I auditioned against like 400 other comics.
Yeah,
and it was good. The rehearsals were great, and then they started panicking. You know, the suits. Mm-hmm. They started seeing surveys or whatever, and the focus groups. And they said, oh, well, we got you writers. We got you new writers from The Tonight Show. And by the way, it was the Johnny Carson Tonight Show. So it was like old school writers with members-only jackets and mullet cuts are now going to write my jokes.
Yeah.
And I, just won Comedian of the Year and all this. And I'm going, oh, my God. But they said, you're going to do the monologue sitting next to him, and then he'll react. I said, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm not like an Ed McMahon. I'm not just going to laugh at him. He's going to laugh at me. And I said, that's pretty cool. And I said, okay. Rehearsal shows went well. Then they panic, and the head writer, I called him Sling Blade because he had this jutted-out jaw.
Yeah.
And I said, Sling Blade, you can't make me tell these jokes. I'll get booed. And I swear, this is a quote. He goes, a boo is as good as a laugh. Johnny loved to be booed. It was always about Johnny Carson. I said, I'm not Johnny Carson. You can't boo me. So
how long did this last?
Well, I'll tell you, this is a true story. Opening day. Now, premiere episode. Now, you have to understand, I'm this kid.
What network is this on?
This is on Fox, right?
Yeah.
It's highly touted. Sheila E.'s the band leader, Magic Johnson, the legend. So I'm backstage. You have to understand, I'm like this kid that's trying to work out stuff from my childhood. Like here I am. I'm going to show all the girls. I'm on TV. They wouldn't go to the prom with me. I'm going to show them. I'm backstage. Here's my introduction that Sling Blade wrote for Magic Johnson. I'm behind the partition. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking they're going to give my trophies and awards. So they're screaming for Magic. He goes, all right, everybody, let's get the show started with my co-host. Now, here's a guy nobody would shower with. Craig Shoemaker. I'm back there going, are you serious? I'm like looking at you guys. I go, nobody would shower with me? That's my intro? So I come walking out. Now, understand, they made me tell these jokes. They said you have to tell the Sling Blade jokes, whatever his name was. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there with Magic. And, his topics are always basketball, women,
Sure.
He's like, this is what he knows. So his opening question to me, he goes, and it's an urban crowd, by the way, and I'm very,
pale.
I'm pale, white, He goes, hey, Craig, how about that Bulls game? I said, Magic, I haven't seen a beating like that caught on tape since Rodney King.
Oh, my God.
Now, do you see your reaction?
Yeah. Wow.
I'm telling you, oxygen mask popped out of the ceiling. There was a gasp you could have heard here in Cleveland from Paramount Studios. And they went like that. And I'm going, oh, my God, that did not go well. These are the first words out of my mouth. And now instead of helping me out, he always known for the assist in basketball. He just goes, oh, Craig. Oh, Craig, you are bad. Remember, everybody, that was Craig. That was Craig. Craig, the co-host, not me. He threw me right in the wood chipper. And every time he never wanted to look bad in front of a celebrities because he wanted to have them on the show. So then Sling Blade would make me tell jokes about celebrities, and he would always go, oh, Craig, you are bad. You are bad, Craig. Now he's not going to come on the show. And I'm sitting there thinking, that's not the reason. People are canceling. He couldn't pronounce anything. This is a true story. Michael Clark Duncan was in Armageddon.
Yeah.
Magic was reading the cue card. He goes, now up next from the movie Armageddon. now here he is from Armageddon. Armageddon. Oh, Craig, how you say that word? I said, just say end of the world. This is the end of my life, the end of my career. I'm just watching it fly away. This is on opening night. This was and then Arnold Schwarzenegger was the first guest. Now, I told you I'm this kid, from Philadelphia, and here I'm sitting next to these legends, and I realized, oh, my God, I have to be the UN translator for these two. Neither one of them can speak English. And their conversation was that Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there bored out of my mind. Arnold, the reason I had you as a guest on my premiere talk show, you make a lot of money for a lot of the needy people. Folks, don't he give it up for the needy people? No, Magic, you're the one who give all the money back. Yeah, you got the AIDS awareness. Doesn't he got the AIDS awareness and the Magic Johnson theater in the hood? Oh, come on, Arnold. You're the one with them Special Olympics. Help out those needy kids. I'm sitting there thinking, how am I going to blend in?
They're basically just stroking each other.
Stroking each other. And so I go, I'm trying to be funny. I go, I almost gave $1 to a homeless guy. He didn't have change for a 10. Oh, Craig, you are bad. Now the homeless guy's not going to come on the show.
Well, you know who replaced Craig Shoemaker after a while?
Who do you think it was?
I know who it was. It was.
You do not. You do not. I know who you think it was.
Oh, well.
For a few days, it was someone else.
Tommy Davidson is who I...
right before that, it was Steve White.
I don't even know who Steve White is.
Was, well, he was in the wings at all times, hoping I would lose that job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
don't know who Steve White is. Do you know who Steve White is?
No. I used to have to go to work and listen to Howard Stern would actually replay. It was a nightmare. On my way to work every day.
He'd replay your show of how bad it was?
The entire Magic Johnson show, and he would break it down like it was John Madden breaking down a play or John Gruden. It was unbelievable. Every day I'm on my way to work. Oh, my God, here I come. Oh, no. Oh, Craig. Oh, my God, they're going to play it again. It was a nightmare. Every day it was a nightmare. And by the way, they took me the day 3. They took me off the couch on day 3. Yeah. Magic goes, "We'll be back after this," and apparently that didn't include me. They came up, whispered in my ear. They said, "The people upstairs decided you're going to be off the couch now." I'm going, "The people upstairs? What is it? A horror movie? Making decisions about my life?" I go, "You can't." I start arguing with them. This is after the first segment,
right?
And it's dark, and they're going, and I'm going, "Oh my God, you can't do this to me. I've told people I'm this, host." And they go, "No, you got to go now." And they're arguing with me, and they bodily had to remove me. I go, "I'm not leaving." And I looked over at him. Maybe he's going to help me out.
Yeah.
And my man Magic, he's glazed over the cue card. I'm a good dude. So
how long did you last on this show?
Well, that was day 3, and then I tried to talk my way back onto the couch, and then they just they had a contract, so they would throw me. They would throw me in different episodes. Like I'd be in the 5th segment in the cooking episode. Magic would "Oh, Craig, here's some flour. Oh, now you're a cake."
Well, Tommy Davidson is who I thought replaced.
It's Steve White at first. So Howard Stern came on the show, and his very first line out of his mouth, Steve White's there with a bow tie. He starts ripping on him. And he goes, "Oh, you made it about the white guy. That's your problem, So Craig Shoemaker, and he did a whole riff on me, and it was pretty funny. But then Steve White was replaced by Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson, him and I almost went to blows here one time. The guy literally is out of his mind. He lost. He actually. I witnessed him having some sort of a mental breakdown right here in this studio. He apparently had a famous crack addiction or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So I asked him about this, and I asked him in a normal manner, right? I mean, I don't even remember all of the details.
Just
of
nice
exactly
watch,
what happened, right?
Nice crack addiction. Yeah, tell us about that. I got you.
And he then, for whatever reason, at the end of throughout the interview, can you remember exactly what happened? I mean, what happened exactly?
Just said, "Quit bringing it up. Let's move on. I already talked about that." And you're just like, "Well, give me an answer. Did you do drugs? You're still doing drugs?"
I don't think that's what it was. No, I didn't ask him that. It was
you saw somebody called in and said they saw him at a porno shop.
That's what it was.
That started it. So he was upset about that.
The night before, someone saw him in a porno shop buying a porno DVD, and they called in, and I'm
laughing because
he was mad at that.
I know what he's going through. Yeah, I mean, you do these radio things, hoping that people are going to come see it, hilarities, right. And then you got a guy calling him, "I saw you at a porno shop," and meanwhile, you want lead-ins to jokes that you're prepared. He wants to do a bit about rodeo humping or whatever it is. He wants you to say that, and you're in there going, "How about that crack? Hey, we heard you got porn addiction to stop it all."
So that's what he was very upset by that.
Yeah.
And then, which I would have. I mean, you're a comedian. You should just be able to play that off or be like, "Yeah, I'm on the road. What else? You have ugly women here in town. What else? I mean, come on. There's a million different things you could do with that." And then the crack thing, we didn't even dwell on it. I think I just asked him about it. This was like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He then got up And as he was leaving the studio, we were done with the interview. He basically was saying, "I know what you just did to me there." I go, "What do you mean? What I just did to you?" He's like, "You were just trying to get a rise out of me. I can play this game." And I go, "What?" I think it was because I asked him about the drug thing, and I said I didn't understand it because I've never done any drugs. What motivated you to do it, or whatever the hell the question was.
Yeah.
And then he walked out of the studio and said that he was going. If we were in high school, he would just kick my ass. And so then
if we were in high school,
yeah, if we were in high school, I would have just kicked your ass or whatever he said. And and then it was on. There's yelling and screaming, and he's being shuttled out, and he's calling Doogie, who know, calling her see you next Tuesday and a bitch and all this stuff. Oh, it was insane. Really? The guy literally lost it. He's a nutcase. The guy's crazy. So
if you had him back on,
I'd love to have him back on. I doubt that he would probably come back on. But,
really?
Yes.
I think you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think I caught him at a bad time or bad day or
something?
something?
No, I mean, he might not remember. I was going more with that.
Cracked out of his mind. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Did you ever get into any of the drugs or anything? Or
yeah,
no?
major.
You started in comedy in the 80s, right?
Yeah, so I started as a kid with everything. I started, with the booze and
when
drugs.
Your grandma did the weed with you, it was all downhill from there.
Well, yeah. That was the gateway. Yeah. when your grandmother's, token up with you.
Before you know it, you're doing body shots off of her.
I did not do that. All for friends. Yeah, she had some hot-looking cougars back then. My mother belly danced at my high school graduation party. It was a whole thing.
You had a very interesting.
She bought us a keg. She bought us a keg, and she came down the steps. I'm not kidding, with finger cymbals and veils. And she said, "Ching, I have a treat for you and your friends." My friends already thought she was Mrs. Stifler. So woo, your old lady looks good, Shoe. It's like Mrs. Shoe, and they're all doing this thing we did. When we were high, we used to come up with things that we thought we were going to make money with, like a slogan. We thought we were going to come up with a slogan like the guys from What's Up? Remember that? What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
Here's the one we came up with. He.
Oh,
and we kept doing it. We kept going, he. And I have no idea how this did not sweep the nation.
So you would go around like high school or whatever doing that trying to get it to catch on.
One time we snuck into we said, if we could do this at the Phillies game at the broadcast booth. Once he goes out on the air, I mean, they're all going to do it, right? So we actually had our hand on the knob. We climbed the fence, had our hand on the knob of the Phillies broadcast booth, and then the security guards, bam, they got us. And they start beating us, and then two of us got away. And my one friend surrounded me. He starts fighting them. There's and they can't wait for this. Yeah. They're just pounding him, and they made him into a bloody mess. And you know they have a jail there,
right there in the stadium.
Trial.
Yeah, right.
So he had a trial right there. But I think the judge must have known that he could have been sued because he was a bloody mess. And he goes, "Come on up here." And he hands it. We had 4 tickets. We got 4 tickets.
Oh, wow.
And they were like the worst seats ever. Like these 2 benches at the top, like we were being penalized. All the way at the top of the stadium, the blimp was practically scraping our head. But we were up there all victorious going, like we got over on the man.
That sounds like a bunch of special needs kids going to watch a baseball game.
Well, actually, I was in the special class at one time. I told you I didn't have pubic hair, right? Yeah. This is a true story. I've never confessed this, but I didn't want to go in the showers anymore, so I faked that I had a problem. I said that I have special needs.
Yeah,
this is a true story, and I talked them into it, and they put me in. I was with all the helmets. I was in there with all the helmets. I didn't wear a helmet, but the hockey helmet.
Sure,
and
right.
I was in there, and you will not believe what they did. It was called II. It was called individual instruction. Mm-hmm. So I was an II, right? So they made us do for gym class archery. They gave bows and arrows to these guys with the helmets. So we're lined up on the football field with bows and arrows with these with these targets, and they're real arrows
shooting all over the place. I bet.
And I'm like McMurphy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Here's what you got to do, Chief. I'm like playing with the kids.
Yeah.
And I go, Eugene. Don't aim for the target. aim for that guy in the pool over there. And he goes, okay. Mrs. Murdoch goes, ready, aim. Eugene pulls it back like he's shooting a crossbow over a wall. the gladiator. The thing just missed the guy in the pool.
Yeah, back in the day, that you could get away with like schools would do that. Now they're Jesus Christ, they're so politically correct, sue happy, and everything like that. That it just
I coach Little League. It's unbelievable. It's how everything's changed. We have 4 kids on the team have an inhaler. I said, if we had an inhaler growing up, they'd shove it up your.
I know. I just
here's how to cure your asthma.
Every freaking kid has a peanut allergy now. When I was a kid, no goddamn kid had a peanut allergy.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Now it's like peanuts are death.
Oh, no, it's not only that. You have a whole chart they give you for a party. This one's gluten free. You know what they're allergic to? Fun.
Yeah,
that's what they're allergic. It's imagine this happened in the old West. We're wondering if Travis wanted to come over for a play date. Mrs. made some fantastic gluten-free chili. We do everything for them.
Right.
And I coach Little League. They have no outs.
Yeah.
For the first 2 years.
Oh, no outs.
And I'm not used to this. I'm intense. I go, one time I go, he's out instinctually. And these 7 women, they're on me like, the Bin Laden compound with helicopters.
Yeah.
They go, no. They're like correcting me. He's not out. He's not out.
Outs.
And then they go to me. Now apologize. You made Geoff cry. Now I have to make amends. I'm sorry, Geoff.
Craig Shoemaker is here. He's going to be at Hilarities tonight, 7:30 and 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, 7 and 9:30. I'm going to give you the number to call for tickets. It's 216-241-7425. I have to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hang on.